Right now, a developing tropical cyclone is tracking toward Western Australia, while Queensland braces for up to 500 millimetres of rain in just 72 hours. If you live anywhere along Australia's northern coastline, the next 5 days will determine whether you're re-preparing sandbags or celebrating sunshine. 350 millimetres. That is the rainfall total some far north Queensland communities could see by Monday morning. More rain than Sydney gets in 3 entire months, falling in one weekend. And here is what nobody is talking about. The Herbert River is already showing minor flooding. Add 300 millimetres on saturated catchments, and we're not looking at minor flooding anymore. Before we get to that critical Herbert River situation at minute 5, let me tell you exactly when the rain hits your area, hour by hour, town by town. And if you are in southeast Queensland thinking you've dodged this system, stay with me. At minute 8, I am revealing why next Wednesday through Friday could bring the thunderstorm outbreak you've been waiting for. This system has the potential to finally break the drought conditions we're seeing across the southeast. Comment below where you're re-watching from, and I'll personally reply with your specific forecast timing. Are you in Townsville, Cairns, Brisbane, Port Hedland, Mackay, Gold Coast? Drop your location below right now. Let us start with what is happening at this exact moment. Brisbane is sitting at 33 degrees Celsius under clear skies. Feels nice, doesn't it? High pressure in the Tasman Sea has given southeast Queensland 2 beautiful days, but that same system is about to become a moisture pump, pulling tropical air down from the Coral Sea. By next Wednesday, that comfortable 33 degrees turns into something very different. We'll see dew points rising, humidity increasing, and the atmosphere becoming increasingly unstable. Today, right now, the action is in central and far north Queensland. Townsville, if you're re-watching this at lunchtime, you've got 4 to 5 hours before rain arrives. That easterly flow that has been sitting off the coast all morning is moving inland between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. today. Moderate to locally heavy rainfall is heading your way this afternoon. This isn't a brief shower either. We're talking sustained rainfall that will continue through the evening. Mackay and the Whitsundays, you've already seen the worst. Overnight falls were moderate, with some areas picking up 30 to 50 millimetres, but your rainfall is easing today. The system is tracking north, which means you on the back end now. You might see isolated showers this afternoon, but nothing significant by tomorrow. You should be mostly dry. Cairns and the Cassowary Coast, your timing is different. Tonight, late tonight into early Friday morning, that when your heaviest rainfall arrives, we're talking widespread moderate showers, some locally heavy. Critical detail between Cairns and Townsville, there is potential for convergence zone activity Friday morning. That is weather speak for rain that doesn't move, it just sits there and dumps. This is where we could see some of those 125 millimetre totals I mentioned. 20 to 60 millimetres under regular showers and thunderstorms. 125 millimetres where convergence develops. That today into Friday. But we're not done. Not even close. Saturday and Sunday, far north Queensland, listen carefully. A developing monsoonal low-pressure system is parking itself near the coast. This is the main event. Saturday will be wet. Sunday will be wet. The Cassowary Coast and Daintree Rainforest could see 250 to 350 millimetres. Some locations, particularly elevated areas in the ranges, might approach 500 millimetres by Monday morning. 500 millimetres, that is half a metre of rain. Picture that, half a metre of water falling from the sky in just 3 days. Here is my rule of thumb for far north Queensland, and I've been watching this region for years. Anything below 300 millimetres, even in wet season, that is business as usual. The infrastructure is built for it, the landscape expects it, drainage systems can handle it. But anything over 300 millimetres, especially now in the middle to back end of wet season when catchments are already saturated, soil moisture is high and rivers are running, that is when we watch river levels very closely. This is when flooding becomes a real concern. The promise I made at the start. Minute 5. The Herbert River situation. This is critical for anyone living in the Ingham area, the lower Herbert, or anywhere along this river system. The Herbert River already has minor flooding right now as I record this. Water levels are elevated, the catchments are wet, the ground is saturated, and now we're reforecasting another 200 to 300 millimetres through the Atherton tablelands Sunday into Monday. Every drop of that water flows down into the Herbert River system. It has to go somewhere. We're re-looking at minor to locally moderate flooding. That's the baseline expectation. But if those rainfall totals push toward the higher end, toward that 300 to 350 millimetre mark in the ranges, moderate flooding becomes much more likely. We could even see isolated pockets of major flooding if convergent zones develop and dump extraordinary amounts in the wrong places. This isn't something to panic about, but it is absolutely something to prepare for. If you live along the Herbert River, right now, today, is the time to check your flood plan. Know your evacuation routes. Make sure you've got supplies. Stay updated with Bureau of Meteorology warnings. Have a battery-powered radio ready. Charge your phones. Take photos of your property for insurance purposes if needed. Other river systems in far north Queensland I am less concerned about right now. The Tully, the Johnstone, the Barron, they'll all see elevated levels. But the Herbert is the one with current minor flooding plus the forecast for significant additional rainfall. That combination is what makes it the river system to watch most closely this weekend. Townsville, let's get specific about your timeline. Today, Thursday afternoon, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m, showers develop. Some thunderstorms mixed in, moderate rainfall rates. You'll hear it on the roof. Tonight, overnight into Friday morning, that rainfall continues but starts to ease off. The heaviest stuff moves north of you. Friday daytime, you are actually looking at less rainfall than today because that easterly flow shifts to more southeasterly. You end up on the southern fringe of the main system by Friday. Total rainfall through this event, 30 to 80 millimetres most likely, with isolated spots potentially reaching 100 millimetres if thunderstorms track repeatedly over the same areas. Urban flash flooding possible in poor drainage areas during peak rainfall. Cairns, your timeline runs later. Tonight, late tonight, around 10 p.m. to midnight is when it begins. Friday morning, say 6 a.m. to noon, that is your peak rainfall period. Expect sustained moderate to heavy showers. Friday afternoon and evening still wet but beginning to ease. Then Saturday, the monsoonal low moves closer and we go again. Saturday and Sunday become very wet days. Widespread showers and thunderstorms both days. You are looking at 150 to 250 millimetres just over the weekend alone. Add Friday S totals and you could be pushing 300 millimetres or more for the entire event. Innisfail, Tully, Mission Beach, the Cassary Coast communities you rewrite in the bullseye for this weekend. S monsoonal system, 200 to 300 millimetres Saturday through Monday is the forecast. Some locations, particularly elevated areas, could exceed that substantially. The Tully River catchment will see significant rainfall. If you are in Tully or Mission Beach, be prepared for very wet conditions. Cooktown, you are on the northern edge of this system. Steady rainfall Friday into Saturday, but slightly lower totals compared to areas further south. 100 to 150 millimetres expected through the weekend. Still significant, but not the extreme totals we reforecasting further south. Now let us jump south. Southwestern Queensland, you've got a completely different weather story developing, and it's equally dramatic. This afternoon, Thursday afternoon, thunderstorms fire up south of Windora and Charleville, through Cunnamulla, Thargomindah, Quilpie, and out toward Birdsville. These are hit and miss pulse storms. Some places get absolutely drenched with 50 to 80 millimetres in an hour. Other places 10 kilometres away miss out completely. That's the nature of isolated pulse thunderstorms in this region. High instability, but storms are disorganised and random. But Friday is when things get genuinely serious for southwestern Queensland and northwestern New South Wales. We're re-looking at instability values, what meteorologists call CAPE, climbing into the 2000s, even approaching 3,000 joules per kilogram in one or two locations. To put that in perspective, 1,000 is considered moderate instability, 2,000 is high, 3,000 is exceptional. We're talking about an atmosphere absolutely loaded with energy. Dew points are pushing 23 to 25 degrees Celsius. For those who don't follow weather closely, dew point is the moisture level in the air. Anything over 20 degrees is uncomfortable. 25 degrees is oppressive. It's going to be hot. It's going to be sticky. And the atmosphere is going to be highly unstable. Perfect thunderstorm fuel. Wind shear, that is the change in wind speed and direction with height, is moderate. We are already seeing values around 15 to 25 knots at the 500 hectopascal level, which is roughly 5.5 kilometres up. Not ideal for those classic supercell thunderstorms, but absolutely sufficient for severe pulse thunderstorms. And in southwestern Queensland, isolated supercells absolutely can be ruled out Friday afternoon into evening. Thargomindah, Quilpie, Birdsville, mark Friday afternoon into evening on your calendar. Expect thunderstorm development. Heavy rainfall under these storms, potential for 50 to 100 millimetres in short periods. Localised damaging wind gusts possible, potentially reaching 80 to 100 kilometres per hour. Small hail possible. This is severe thunderstorm territory, northwestern New South Wales, particularly around Wanna-Aring, Pilbara. You've got better wind shear in your area compared to Queensland. This means better organised storms. Isolated to scattered supercell thunderstorms are possible Friday afternoon and evening. This is the kind of atmospheric setup that can produce giant hail, 2 to 4 centimetres in diameter, and destructive winds exceeding 125 kilometres per hour if storms become well organised. Not saying it will happen, but the ingredients are there. Southeast Queensland, Brisbane, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast. Today, 33 degrees, sunny, calm. Friday, same. Monday and Tuesday next week, things shift. Robust trough develops along coast, inland from Darling Downs. Taps moisture from Coral Sea. High pressure offshore pumps tropical moisture into southeast Queensland. Wednesday next week, first showers and thunderstorms. Thursday, the main event, southeasterly change rips across New South Wales, pushing trough and moisture northward. Heavy rainfall possible. Thunderstorms likely. Flash flooding in urban areas if storms train over same locations. Friday, surface low may develop offshore. If formed, sustained onshore flow. Persistent heavy showers. Moderate to possibly severe thunderstorms. This isn't November-December pattern. Jet stream further south, mid-storm season, wind shear not hitting 30 to 50 knots, pulse thunderstorms most likely, heavy rainfall, localised damaging winds, small hail. Not expecting giant hailstones or widespread destructive winds, but rainfall is coming. Southeast Queensland desperately needs it. Notice how brown everything looks, crunchy underfoot. Trending toward borderline drought, which shouldn't have happened during La Nina. Surface low next week could bring 50 to 300 millimetres. Springbrook, Gold Coast hinterland, northeastern New South Wales could see higher totals. Brisbane, Wednesday next week, 30% chance thunderstorms. Thursday, 60%, possibly severe. Friday, 70% with offshore low. Saturday, Sunday, sustained showers if low lingers. Brisbane totals 30 to 100 millimetres, isolated areas 150 to 200 millimetres, Gold Coast and northern New South Wales coast 150 to 250 millimetres if low tracks close. Western Australia, tropical low 21 uniform is our next major concern. Currently offshore from Kimberley coast, organising better than expected this morning. Good convection firing, low tracking southward along Western Australia coast. Over next few days, may intensify into tropical cyclone, 2 possible tracks. Multi-model guidance takes system offshore from Broome, hugging coastline, possibly making landfall near Exmouth, late weekend into early next week. Deep model has it tracking closer to shore, possibly impacting Port Hedland, then inland near Karratha. If it tracks offshore, could reach Category 2, possibly Category 3, but it is staying too close to coastline. Tropical cyclones need warm ocean water and space to organise. This system will pull dry air from Pilbara Desert, limiting intensification. More likely scenario, Category 1, possibly weak Category 2 maximum. Broome, 100 millimetres by week's end. Kimberley Coast, scattered 150 to 200 millimetre totals. Port Hedland, Karratha, Dampier, Barrow Island, Onslow, 60 to 150 millimetres Friday through Sunday. Gale force winds expected. Exmouth 50 to 100 millimetres if system reaches you early next week. Western Australia timing Friday, low intensifies offshore from Broome. Saturday south past Port Hedland with gales. Sunday near Karratha and Dampier with gale force winds and heavy rainfall. Monday, weakening near Onslow and Exmouth. Coral Sea, chatter about potential system near Vanuatu and New Caledonia. Only one model shows this, tracking away from Australia. Not a threat to Australian mainland. Southeast Queensland and Queensland coast Don-T need to worry. No imminent tropical cyclone threat to mainland Australia outside Western Australia system. Big picture, far north Queensland, heavy rainfall today through Monday. Herbert River flooding possible, 250 to 500 millimetres, peak Saturday through Monday. Townsville and Central Coast. Rainfall today, easing Friday, 30 to 100 millimetres. Southwestern Queensland, severe thunderstorm potential Friday, heavy rainfall, large hail, damaging winds possible. Southeast Queensland, dry until Wednesday next week. Thunderstorm outbreak Wednesday through Friday, 50 to 200 millimetres possible. Desperately needed. Western Australia, Pilbara coast, cyclone impacts Friday through Monday, 60 to 150 millimetres. Gale force winds, Category 1 to 2 expected. If you're already in far north Queensland, preparation time is now. Stock up, secure loose items, no flood routes. Southwest Queensland or northwest New South Wales, Friday stay weather aware. Have severe thunderstorm plan ready. Southeast Queensland, you've got time. Next week, prepare for heavy rainfall. Check gutters, clear drains. Western Australia, Pilbara residents. Friday through weekend is impact period. Begin cyclone preparations tomorrow. Drop your location below. I'll reply with specific forecast details. Next update. Detailed analysis of Southeast Queensland surface low. Will it form, flooding rains or welcome showers? Models still converging. Plus, tracking Western Australia cyclone hour by hour once offshore tomorrow. Precise landfall timing, intensity forecast, impact details for every Pilbara community. Weather across Australia is active and evolving. Next 72 hours crucial for multiple regions. 500 millimetres in far north Queensland. Category 2 cyclone in Western Australia. Severe thunderstorms in southwest. Drought-breaking rain for southeast Queensland next week. Australian weather at